Guys, gals, and fellow gender non-conforming pals, welcome back. My legal name is C28, and we had the final lecture today. That's mad. The class is already over. It did feel like it was a proper good lengthy class. It had, I believe, what was it? 80-something, 84 hours in it. Quite a bit. Like a lot. So, glad it definitely felt like it didn't just pass by and there's nothing like that. There's substance to it. But, topic of today is finishing up final processing. We went into actually pre-production as well, but the final stages of what happens after you finish your mix. So once it's finished, what do you do? Well, obviously you want to get paid. So, there is a process to send the work to the client. Stems are very important. Sending your mix stems. So not the initial clips that you had when you began the project, those clips that were provided by the client, but you're going to process different versions of the song for different use cases. So let me quickly review the notes and I'll just find the best way to convey this information to you. So BRB. So there are 4 main mixes that you're going to send. Now, these are mix stems, but they are like mixes of sorts. These are referred to also as the gang of 4s, and they go as follows. 1, TV mix. 2, main vocals and effects mix. 3, full mix with everything. And 4, just the instrumental mix. So let's start from the top. So from the top, we're going to go to the TV mix. This one was a little wild to hear. I mean, I kind of assumed it was the case a lot of times, but here's like a bit of entertainment magic I'm about to ruin. So I suppose like skip forward if you don't want to have any magic ruined. Say like 2 minutes, skip forward. So whenever an artist is playing something live on TV for like say a morning show, a late night show, some interview, anything like that, and the band's playing along, they're not playing along. I mean, they could be, but that's not the audio you're hearing. You're hearing the TV mix, and then they're able to have their vocals comped in. It's basically a karaoke mix. It's very interesting, and a lot of use cases for that. So say, for example, and it's really a mix minus mix. So mix minus essentially means you're mixing everything in minus one element. So you could do a mix minus of a bunch of different things. In fact, really good instance of this. If you ever played Guitar Hero or like Rock Band, I forget is it Rock Band? Something like that. But those games where you're playing a musical instrument, you got notes falling towards you, those games, they use that exact concept of a mix minus. But it's actually a mix plus. Here's how it works. When you have 2 versions of the exact same waveform and you invert the polarity of one of them, they cancel each other out. So all that needs to happen is you have solo mixes of the instruments that are going to be playing. You pull up a full mix, and then anytime the player misses a note, you add the track again, inverted in polarity, deleting that part from the song, and then you add a little sound effect and it sounds like they messed up. Meanwhile, it's still playing, but it's competing against the opposite version of itself, which leads to complete cancellation from the track. Ooh, fun. So that's basically what the TV mix is being able to use it for different cases like that. So not just TV, it is called a TV mix, but different use cases for that. Second one is your vocal mix. So vocal mix is going to be just your main vocals and all the effects associated. Now, this could also be the case for any of those other instruments, like say the guitar mix, be just the guitar and the associated effects, and then the one that goes along with it, the mix that goes along with it, the mix minus without it, and then the mix plus with it. It's just called a solo mix. And yeah, just filling in, allowing people also to mix different levels. So say during a movie, if someone is singing a song and you want to have some dramatic moment where their vocals are like the main element of the song, but it's still the same song you've heard on the radio, you could have that mix completely separate, and all you have to do is turn the fader down for the TV mix of it, and then you just get the vocals shining through. And you put like a low pass filter on the instruments, get some cool effects there. But use case for that. The last two are your full mix and your instrumental mix. So the full mix, of course, that's just everything. That's the main mix everyone's thinking about. The thing that goes to streaming services, all that, that's your main mix. But the instrumental mix is just the instrumental. So you don't have any of those fancy vocal effects, no vocals whatsoever. Now, you might be thinking, well, what's different from that and the TV mix? Well, the instrumental mix is going to have absolutely no vocals whatsoever. That means no choir stuff, like no background vocals. Whereas you could have background vocals and effects on the TV track because it's still lacking the main vocal. So again, I mentioned pre-production is something that we talked about in class. We talked a lot about pre-production, actually. I'm not going to go into full detail. I'll give you the basic summary here. There are going to be 3 to 4 main key players when it comes to making a song. You're going to have the artist or songwriter, the person who came up with the vision, or is at least playing the vision, or both. You're going to have the producer guiding the vision, either by the label, or it could be the songwriter, or given to them, or just hired by them. Then you're going to have your engineer. Basic things. Someone who's got the idea, someone who can guide the idea, someone who can play the idea, and someone who can mix the idea. That's what you need. Very importantly, we touched on the role the engineer has in this. Unless you're also hired to be the producer, which is, I don't think, very common that the engineer is also the producer, you're not giving creative input unless you're specifically asked for it. Your only job is to make it sound good with what the client has asked. So that means if there's a producer in there also working, and the producer says, let's make this guitar track go down a little bit in level. You bloody do it. You don't say, well, that could mask. That's immediately where you lose your client. That's the second where, well, shoot, they don't want to work with you anymore. As the mix engineer, you know how to operate the equipment. That's all you're doing is you're operating the equipment. You're making things work. And if they ask, like, shoot, we ran into this issue here. Dang it, we have the guitars are too loud in this section, but the vocals still need to pop through, but it's clipping. Then you could say, oh, we can put a Docker on that if you'd like. If you provide issues, but don't provide like creative input like, I don't like the way that you sang this. Could you? No, you will not get a job again. They'll probably drop you on the spot and leave. Just don't do that. That's not your job as the mix engineer. Your job is to know how things work and be the one who can execute the creative vision in the technical side of things. Yeah. A third little thing that we touched on today was getting paid. Doing work. How do you get paid exactly? Well, really great things that are brought up by the instructor. Do different packages. Don't just say, oh yeah, my rate is this, pay me. A different way you could do it. Oh, I see what you got there. Let's see. Okay, if you would like, we could do a basic fader pan mix. That'll be the first package. We could also do something like we add a little bit of effects on there. That'll be your second package. And then finally, we can do some gluing of things together with a bit of bus compression. That'll be your third package, and just whatever mix of stuff you want, and charge more for each package. And then stems, you could charge for stems. Say, okay, if you do want just the one final mix, then we can send you that. Of course, that's something we can do. But if you would like individual stems for different parts, if you want, say, those Gang of Fours I was talking about, we can send that. If you like individual tracks, we can do that too. But then, of course, different packages as you go along. And something else that's also important is, of course, contracts. Make sure legally they have to pay you. Don't just say, yeah, here's what it's going to cost you. Here's the product. They're going to walk away, maybe. That's not good. Hopefully, if you're working with like a major artist, they're not going to do that. They really can't afford to screw you over like that and just walk away without paying you. But smaller artists, like little local artists, little SoundCloud, GarageBand kiddos who may not have a whole lot of money and want their stuff mixed. Yeah, don't give them the mix without like a contract and the money beforehand. Get paid beforehand and have it written in your contract how they will pay you, when they will pay you, how much they'll pay you, when they'll pay you anyway. I don't care if you didn't end up using it. I don't care if you got someone else to pick it up and now finish it. No, you're going to pay me for what you have. Write that in a contract. Another thing is, clients may ask for demos. Whenever you're printing a demo, watermark the out of that. Watermark the ever-living out of your demo. Because a great scam is, hey, could I have a demo? Yeah, sure, here you go. Oh, that's brilliant. And then they leave and they send it to a mastering engineer and then they just got work for free. Don't do that. Watermark the out of it. Just put like a little thing, like a vocal line that occasionally pops up. So it's like playing the music, boom, 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 C28 music, boom, 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 something they can't upload. Or you could do some fancy stuff where you have some background elements, super quiet, but like when you put it through a spectrogram, it reads, this is stolen content. This is not legal to be distributed anywhere. Or metadata, something like that. But something where like they assume that they can't be using this. That's good. Watermarking it with that. Another thing is, don't use a high quality mix when sending them a demo. Put that at like 16 bits, 44.1 kilohertz. Make that like not great. Send it as an MP3. Don't send them the best of the best. Be like, this is the demo of the direction things are heading. If you would like a mix, you're going to pay for that. And then you can hear it. Then we do revisions because you paid for that. But you don't get to hear a mix until you've paid. Just make sure you get paid as a mixing engineer because so many ways you could just not be paid. And that's unfortunate. And I'd like to refer you to a video I was referred to by Adam Savage of Tested, Mythbusters as well, some time back. Adam Savage recommended a video called F You, Pay Me. It's a brilliant seminar. Guy's pretty funny, a little bit profane, as you can tell by the title, F You, Pay Me. But it is a great video that showcases how to set up a contract. The guy's got his lawyer with him, doing the whole bit with him, like how things work. One of the best things he said is, a good lawyer is going to make you money, not cost you money. You're going to have a net gain because you've hired a lawyer. That's some pretty good insight. And another thing, like you can have, if you do end up in a legal battle, write it in your contract that the client is responsible for all of your legal fees. They signed it. They agreed. Okay, take them to court. You win. Also, they pay for your fees. Not a bad outcome. So, in the event the client tries to screw you, make sure you screw them more. And you get compensated fairly, of course. So, there's not a whole lot else. Last little thing I'll touch on for class is just a final checklist that we were given in regards to our final project submission to make sure that's all sorted and good and happy. So I'm going to go look it over here. So make sure I can have it verbatim. Final project wrap up. You're going to need to make sure all your mixes are clean. What clean doesn't mean like it's the highest quality possible thing, crisp audio, everything. Like you want things mixed well. Clean just means anything that should not be in that mix is not in the mix. So if you're doing your TV mix, there should be no hint of the main vocals anywhere. Anywhere. Not even effects. Nowhere. If you're doing your vocal mix, there should be nothing but the vocals. You shouldn't have like your overheads bleeding through or anything like that. Now, this wasn't mentioned in class, but If you have like a track that's recorded in the same space as something else, and you're just allowing the expander to have a little bit of bleed just for things to blend well, that's fine. It's obviously not the main instrument. An unclean mix would be like where you're clearly hearing it like, oh, wow, that's a snare hit in the middle of my guitar, only mix. Why is there a snare hit just clearly present throughout? Psh, 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 psh. Like, why? That probably sounded more like a cymbal, didn't it? Anyway, next item on the docket. If you're using the stereo tool to analyze phase, please make sure it's in stereo or just take it off. Because if you send a mix in and the whole mix is in mono, that's a lot of points off. And oh my goodness, if you ever did that to a client, they'd be so angry. Hey, I'm not hearing a whole lot of like life in this track. It seems dead. I don't think I like you as an engineer. Don't let that happen. And you don't want to be like sending them an email back. Oh, I forgot. This whole thing's in mono. I messed up. That doesn't look good, does it? No. So send it in stereo to begin with. Make sure it's in stereo. Make sure at no point do you ever accidentally send a mono mix, unless they're specifically asking for a mono mix. Number 3, documentation. So documentation is a really good thing to keep within your session files. So 2 levels to the folder. When you have your project folder, you will have all the stuff related to the function of the session. So your audio files, your clips, your bounces, your stems, all that. That's in one folder, your session folder. There's another folder in the folder that has that other folder. That is your documentation. So your documentation could have anything from requests from the client, revision data. It could have the contracts. That should be in there to have everything in this one place. So what we need to do is we need to have a documentation folder in the project folder, but not the session folder. So not where the Pro Tools session is saved in not that folder, but the folder before it that has the folder that has that. Make sense? 2 folders. Yeah. 4th thing here is you're only sending in the session file, not the session folder. You're going to get screenshots of that stuff. So you're going to show screenshots of that being the case, the way it's set up, but you're only sending in the session file, about a couple 100 kilobytes, not really massive, as opposed to your entire session folder, which could be like 10 gigabytes. That's mad. That's like 91,000 times larger than the session file you're meant to be sending. That's mad. Is it actually? Wait, hold up. 10, 100, no, 100,000. There we go. Divided by 512. There we go. Holy shit, yeah. 19,531.25 times larger of a file. That is insane. Wow. That's one way to eat up network traffic. I mean, it's only 10 gigs, but like expecting 19,531.25 times less than that. Well, actually, that's not how that works, but same. Yeah, you know. Point is, just send in the session file, not the session folder. I know they both start with F, but like, don't send the folder. No. Next up here, number 5, is that you have the screenshots of your mix window and your edit window. So you need to make sure you can see all the inserts. You can see all the stuff that's happening, all the faders, things. It's not a video, just a screenshot. Pretty straightforward. Make sure you got everything. And you might need several screenshots. You will need several screenshots to get this to all fit, because you're not going to just Control Option Command down and squash everything and be like, yeah, there we go. You can't see anything on that. And finally, number 6 is that everything, all this stuff is in one single compressed file. So it's going to be one folder that has all that stuff that'll be submitted in a compressed file. Brilliant. That's it. So have that done. And with that, there will be no more lecture videos for this class. I do still have a lab to go to tomorrow. So there's still one more lab. And we got a few discussion posts to fill out. And I got some feedback on my final mix that I'm going to look at. And then I'll get all these things done. So still got a lot of work for the class. I might do one extra video log, just wrapping the whole thing up. But just in case I don't, I'll give you the summary of the class thus far. Yeah, just in case I don't give you that extra video, because I might not. So the mixing techniques class is something that's going to help you understand how to efficiently manage the mixing process, how to more effectively work as a mixing engineer, the different phases that go into mixing. Not just saying, what does this track need? Oh, let's do it. Layers, like an onion. You need to work in different steps, different layers. There are different phases to mixing. You're not just going to, oh, this one track. Okay, I hear it needs compression, it needs EQing, it needs reverb, it needs this. Okay, next one, it needs this. That you're going to do one thing at a time. And very important thing that I was taught is making sure things are gain matched. And before gain matching, way before that, is getting all your clips at the same level. So you're starting with a flat mix to begin with. That's great. It's going to sound terrible, but that's great. And gain matching, making sure the input and output of the effects that are just meant to be controlling the timbral qualities of your song, controlling the envelope qualities of the song. They're giving you the same output as the input. You're not adding the compressor and now changing the level. You're not messing with the EQ and now changing the level. The level stays the same, just the timbral qualities or the envelope qualities of the dynamics of the song change. Another thing that this class taught is how to effectively use your ears. Don't wear them out. So one of the things, I've mentioned it 3 times now, is take breaks. That's harped on in the class, is take breaks. Don't listen for more than half an hour at a time. If you are going to listen for more than that, take breaks. There is that OSHA chart of how long you should be listening at certain levels. That's to avoid hearing damage. That's not to avoid your ears having a different response. Your ears will get a different response way before that hearing damage sets in. So avoid mixing with a different frequency response in your ears. You want to be able to have the same response as before you started mixing. Assuming you didn't just like have a jet engine go by your ear, but you know, from a standard regular state. And finally, maybe it's finally, teaching you professional stuff, session management, getting files to the client and getting the right files to the client. I haven't completed that yet, but that's literally what I just talked about today with this video log to you, is that. So the class is fantastic. I certainly loved it. It taught me a lot of great things. I'm glad it taught me new things in a realm I never knew before. So that's fantastic. Knowing the different phases to mixing. That was great. Again, I may have said this earlier. It's not cookie cutter, do this every time. You may jump back and forth, but generally, don't go just haywire on everything, messing with all these little plugins and whatnot as you see fit. Do it in phases. You can, of course, break that rule when you know how to break it, but the rule's set in place to structure things so it's set right. Of course, there's a speed limit on the road, but we learn to break it with like ambulances. Like there's a reason to break the speed limit, but like generally don't. Makes sense. Again, I might do another video after the lab, so I'll give you just another of the exact same spiel, maybe a little bit more, less, I don't know, if I do shoot that video, but class has been outstanding. Yeah, if you're watching, thank you, Butch. It's been an absolutely brilliant class. Enjoyed it thoroughly. Yeah, and to Kayla and Jess, really appreciated the guidance in lab, so thank you. That is it for the full sale segment. The C28 segment is up next. And once I finish these things, I should have more time. I had plenty of ideas in my head for different things to do. I want to be able to make songs quick. What a bland, boring statement. I want to make songs quick. I want to be able to push out really interesting projects that dive into different soundscapes. Lost Melodies and of Timbers, it was meant to be a series initially when I first did it. That was that. Eventually it became just like this mashup of songs that I'm not sure about releasing and just tiny projects from Song-A-Days and other things that I combine into an album where these Lost Melodies and Unloved Timbers that you have never heard before, you get to hear. I might do just unique names now when I do these other projects, but I'd love to do like crazy 11-song albums, really long things showcasing crazy sound design and just like really test the limits of my production. I think that'd be fantastic and show you the process along the way. So next month, hopefully I have a lot more time. Next month is a history of music class. I can't wait to see what the abbreviation will be. I'm not sure. HSMSC, it's like a whole long thing. That's basically a license plate. So I don't know what we'll do it. But that class, I expect and I hope, will give me a lot more time. It looks like I'm going to have a lot more days off for that class. So I should have time to do the C2A videos that you expect from this channel, not just the video logs. Yeah. So Kombucha is still doing well. This Friday in about, what is that, 2 days? Yeah, 2 days. I'll be checking up on it. So check out shorts and we can give it a little sample. That'd be fun. Wait, quick interjection. Sorry. I was about to go into the outro, but I forgot. There was one thing I wanted to mention. I joined a thing at Full Sail called the Student Event Crew. Very fun. If you don't know about this, outstanding opportunity for any student. I don't care if you're cybersecurity. I don't care if you're game art. I don't care if you're, well, I'm sure pro. I mean, it's built for you. But no matter what degree program you are in Full Sail, you could join the Student Event Crew. Anytime we have companies or at Full Sail set up events using the campus, we as the Student Event Crew run that event. You get experience, legitimate experience in live events, setup, operations, teardown, all that. I've only gone to 2 events so far where I've operated as a front of house engineer assistant and lighting operator, but like I got experience with that. That's wicked cool. In fact, I have media from the event where I did the lighting. So, like, it's just me moving some faders when, like, they're doing countdowns and fun stuff and they're announcing things. So, but, like, it's pretty cool. Looks like this.
Next in the judges is Lonnie Jaden No from Monteverde Academy and Boo Reed from Monteverde Academy.
Thumbs up all around, refs. We're going to do 3, 2, 1. Ready? 3, 2, 1, fight!
Alright, and we're back into the match. As we can see, we're going to have
I love that. It's fantastic. So check it out. Student Event Crew. They host orientations every month, I believe, and it's brilliant. Such a great opportunity. Because Show Pro is the most well-paying business that Full Sail offers. At least I believe so. Of all the degrees that Full Sail teaches, show production pays the best. It's not where my heart's at. It's really fun and cool. I loved doing it when I was doing these events. It's not where my heart's at. I want to do audio stuff. You could do audio stuff. Of course, that's what front of house engineering is. But like, you know, more studio-based stuff. Does. But I think if I have the ability to do this, why not also do it in tandem with all these other things I'm doing? If I'm going to be doing contract work anyway, where I'm sitting at home doing stuff on my computer, I can set my own schedule. So why not also do live events? Say, yeah, I've got this portfolio of all these things I did. I have training from Full Sail University as a recording arts student. Care if I join your event crew and get paid a lot of money for that? That's quite nice. So, Student Event Crew, check it out. It's really awesome. Now back to the rest of the video. Yeah, goodbye. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, you can give me a like, give me a subscribe if you feel like it. And if you do subscribe, YouTube will give you more content like this. That's how subscribe works. Tells YouTube algorithm like, hey, this was pretty cool. I like it. Of course, my video logs are not the most outstanding, brilliant showcase of talent that I have, but the information provided hopefully is helpful for a lot of you. So yeah, if you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing. And if you super enjoyed the content, you can become a Control Voltage by joining. Yes, become a Control Voltage. When you do become a Control Voltage, you get access to the Discord server, early access to content like this. You get behind the scenes content, members only lives, and more down the line. We'll figure out more stuff for you. I want to really compensate my Control Voltages for helping out. I really appreciate the funding you provide to the channel, and it's great to be able to have supporters like you. So truly appreciate that. If you have any questions or comments, you can, of course, leave those in the comment section below, and I'll get back to them, post them in space if they're really cool or interesting. But without any further ado, I hope you all take care of yourselves. God be with you. And goodbye, YouTube! Hope that didn't, like, clip with me slapping the microphone on my head. That's really unfortunate. Yeah.